Hey guys, it's Aaliyah with Open Doors, Open Hearts blog. I want to be transparent with you guys all the time. And so today I am going to share with you an eyesore in my house. I want you guys to be encouraged and to maybe be inspired to find ways to take a part of your home that's a little less than what you want it to be and make it a little more, even though it's not exactly how you want it to be someday. So when we moved here, we moved into a home that an Amish family had owned before us. They painted everything gloss, primer, white, which is okay. That's not the end of the world. I can paint over paint, but the problem is that when they painted this house, for whatever reason, the paint that they used did not stick to the paint that was already here. So we have paint peeling off of mostly trim work and doors, but we have paint peeling everywhere. Which means that we can't just paint to make it what we want. We have to strip it and sand it, prime it, and then paint it, which we did in the dining room. But painting the beadboard in the dining room took 2 weeks because we had to do all of that. And I'll be honest, it's taking a lot of motivating myself to make me ready to do that in another space. So today I'm going to show you how I took this glossy white blank wall and added some cottage style and some charm to it with a wall-mounted hanging pot rack. The first thing I did once it was hung up was put the pots and pans on there. Because I'm using this pot rack as a way to, one, add beauty, but two, also add function, I needed it to hold my pots and pans. So another thing that I haven't mentioned yet is our new house has a very small kitchen. I thought that the house that we used to live in had a small kitchen, and I was way wrong. The kitchen, I feel like, was like twice the size of this kitchen. So not only did I want the pot rack because I think it's beautiful and it would enhance the look and feel that we have here, I also needed it just purely for function because I don't have a cabinet for pots and pans. We hung it up and I put the pots and pans on there. And because they are on display, I want to make sure that they look pretty. So after I have everything hung up on the pot rack, I kind of step back and look at it and I move things around until it feels balanced. And then after the pots and pans are in a good spot, I went ahead and I added some warmth to the pot rack with some wood tones. I used a breadboard and I used a basket for that. The breadboard is pretty much just for looks. We can take it down and use it. I just don't typically do that. But the cool thing about the breadboard is it also adds some layers to the pot rack, making the pot rack feel a little more dimensional and not just flat. And then the same thing with the basket. It also adds warmth, but then I like to store my garlic in this basket. I saw a garlic basket one time online and it was way too much money. I didn't feel like spending that, but I knew I had a small basket like this and I thought it would basically function the same as the expensive garlic basket. So I just threw some garlic in there and I absolutely love the way it works. And two, this pot rack is literally right off of my kitchen. So I'm 5 steps away from my garlic, which I use in basically everything. After I had the warmth added, I went ahead and added some linens to kind of soften the look and the feel of the pot rack. And I love to use linens basically everywhere, but a lot in the kitchen, because it's an easy way to swap out colors or seasons. So you can see here, I like blue for the summer. The spring and the summer is blue pretty much always for me at my house. I just really like it. It's calming. But then when fall comes, I can pull out my mustard yellow, or I can pull out a brown or whatever. And it's just so easy and super inexpensive to just swap out a tea towel. After I've added the linens, the very last thing that I did was add some greenery and some flowers. At the old house, I used to put a big bucket full of huge flowers. It was in the corner of the house, and so it was really never in the way. Here, I can't do that. It's in a walkway. Kind of, I guess, I'm calling it a butler's pantry, because I'm gonna turn this into a pantry someday. But don't expect it for like a while. But I'm calling this space the butler pantry because I'm pretty sure it's a butler pantry that you walk through, not just walk into. Anyhow, we walk through it all day, every day. Because of that, I just can't functionally put a huge bucket of greenery and flowers here like I used to, which is a bummer. But I do have space for a small bucket. So that's exactly what I did. Then I have a mint bed outside. We have a raised bed that has mint growing in it like crazy. All summer I've been going out there, cutting some and bringing it in to dry. So I did the same thing again. Little by little, my goal is to harvest enough mint out of that bed that we're able to have mint tea all year long and not have to go to the grocery store and buy it. I feel like the last 6 months, I've really done a good job of being content with where I am. The kitchen looking the way it looks, and our bathroom being the way that it is. But it's been 6 months, and I am starting to hear voices in my head that are becoming restless and unsettled about the way that the house looks. And so, I don't know, I know it was God. But I just started receiving all of these messages for my heart to just settle, like just settle. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And that's in everything. I think sometimes we think about it in the big things, and it makes sense to think about it in the big things, but it also applies to the little things. Anyhow, I guess all of that, I just felt like your house doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. I'm probably not the only person who has a home that doesn't look the way that she wants it to look. A home that's not as efficient as I want it to be. So I just wanted to share some honesty and some reality about life and what life looks like. But then I also wanted to encourage you that just because your home doesn't look the way that you want it to look, and just because it doesn't function the way that you want it to function, doesn't mean it's not beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you can't have people over and open up your doors and allow people into your imperfect home. Honestly, having an imperfect home, I think, makes people feel like, oh, this is a real person and I can be real with this person. Find that spot in your house that's been bothering you and just add some flowers or add a hook on the wall. Take something that you would use on the everyday and display it in a beautiful way, even though it's not exactly how you would do it. And I think that, like me, you'll discover that there's beauty even though it's not exactly how you would want it to be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you hit the subscribe button down below and be on the lookout, because next week I'll be taking you into the kitchen and showing you the full tour of how it looks today. And then I'll also be showing you what's inspiring me and some of the ideas that I have for when we are finally ready to renovate our kitchen. Have a great day.